Now coming back to natural selection, now up to this point we had idea of genotypic selection, how genes function out, how genes give out different phenotypic structures. Now natural selection is somewhat selection of the phenotypes. Okay, natural selection usually works around the selection of phenotypes. So there should be a phenotypic benefit, and that too around the fitness. So we know that fitness talks about survival and reproduction. So if a phenotype is better at surviving, I mean making the individual survive, and also helps the individual getting mate, then these characters will be selected naturally. Now there should be variation. Okay, so these are the conditions. There should be variation in the phenotype, not only one. When if there is one phenotype, then there is no mean of selection. Okay, all of them will be selected. But if there are multiple phenotypes, then only natural selection will work out. Selection will work out of selection of one particular character, or selection might function in a selection of 2-3 characters. One will be avoided, whatever. Then it has to, these the variations, these the phenotypes. These phenotypes should be susceptible toward resistance and adversity. I mean, these phenotypes should be able to change with respect to resistance or adversity that is happening with the environment. If these phenotype get stuck with one particular character and if they are not able to resist over a particular scenario, adversity that is coming up, then they are not obviously selected. Okay, if imagine if in a scenario the temperature dropped below 30 degree. Okay, so they should be able to resist that kind of adversity. If they're not able to or susceptible to resistance, they're not open to resistance, then what will happen is they will eventually die off because the change is not beneficial or they're not able to resist that change. So yes, so they should be open or susceptible, presentable to resistance. Then genotypic characters differ in that case of the fitness as well. So we understood phenotypic structures. We also know that genotypic structures also affect directly fitness, that we are calling mutation directly affecting variation, and then variation being a character for fitness. So yeah, all these are the conditions for natural selection, right? So there are different levels of selection, different types as well. So different levels are, we can start with individual selection. We talked about genetic selection or genic selection, selection of certain genes with respect to other, or selection of certain mutation with respect to others. Then there is sexual selection, which talks about selection of specific characters in one sex, that is with respect to reproductional benefit. Okay, and these both of them function inside an individual. Both of them are the characters which regulates individual selection. Then comes kin selection. Kin selection usually functions around a respective, kin or family members, related members that we talk about, and that is selection of certain related members over others is usually kin selection. It functions around altruistic characters of few organisms. Apart from that, there is group selection. Group selection refers to a theoretical concept where there are many groups. If there are many groups, some of the groups might be selfish, some of the groups might be altruistic, right? So on the basis of the environmental changes that is happening, if altruistic characters are required, that means cooperation is benefited over time, then altruistic groups will be selected. But if one environment regards or demands selfish character to be more produced, then those character or the groups that shows out selfish structures or selfish genes will be selected over time. So yeah, a group was selected. Okay, not individuals, but there is selection of groups. A kin selection talks about related members among a family, you can say, but when it is a large scale in a population, there are specific groups that have specific characters. So an altruistic character might be selected, or might be selfish character might be selected. So it depends if the entire group is functioning as a unit. So that is group selection. Then species selection. So in a community, there might be 2 or 3 related species. Among those species, a specific species was selected because they produced far better, or they competed better than that of the other species. So these were selected. So this is species level selection, or we also call that as macroevolution. Okay, we'll study that in detail as well when we call about speciation and formation of specific species. But yeah, we are understanding, how selection starts from one particular individual and function out to large scale level changes in a species. So all the changes that happens over time, all the fitness that we are talking about, the selection, is an attribute to adaptation. If an organism is adapting and the variation that is helping it adapt over time over to certain character in the environment, then those characters are selected. So adaptation is one of the important factor of understanding evolution. So adaptation are the characteristics which provide fitness, better fitnesses, and enhances the rate of survival or reproduction as well. Now there is exaptation. Exaptation refers to the fact that many features which are actually ancestral features which were made for a different function but right now provides a different function. So in case of puffins and penguins, wings are made for flight. Now these were the ancestral function of the wing, but later on, because of the change, the adaptation they had, that wing co-adapted for another function or co-opted for a new function. So the wing is now functioning as a flipper. So these kind of changes or the part of it is also called as exaptation. Now the thing is, adaptation is entirely characteristical structure, and exaptation is a functional aspect of it. Okay, so exaptation refers to a functional aspect of how one character can structure out as different functions. Okay, the ancestral function and the new function. So you have to understand exaptation as two different parts of it: ancestral function, new function. Adaptation refers to the entire characteristics or the rate of characteristics that actually enhances the rate of survival or reproduction. Okay, now these are selection of specific objects, that is all of specific characters for different properties for different kind of situations. Okay, so you need to understand that adaptation is selection of specific objects, that is specific characters, for different kind of properties, that is environmental conditions. Now we have already studied it, but we'll go through entire fitness idea and understand different components of it. So yeah, fitness is again the ability to survive and reproduce viable offsprings. So fitness talks about fertilization success as well. So fitness is not just about a specific generation, but it functions over multiple generation. So the generation that is produced should again be able to survive and reproduce. Okay, so if one particular generation is fit, that means it is able to survive and it is able to reproduce. Now the reproduction that happens should have a greater amount of fertilization success. So there might be multiple mating that happens. If one mating is not able to fertilize, then that is not fit. So that organism is not fit. So it should be having a good rate of fertilization success. And then there is viability. Viability refers to the fact that the organisms, the offsprings that are produced out of the organisms will also be fertile. So the generation 1 should be fertile. Okay. So generation 1 should be fertile. The generation 2 that is produced should also be fertile, and that is called viability. Okay. That means generation 2 can produce generation 3. So this should be continuous chain. If only one is fertile and it is producing sterile organisms in the next offspring level generation, then that is not fit. Okay. Then coming to the mating success, it should have a higher rate of sexual selection and mating success, that is fitness. Over the production of batches that is happening should be higher as well. That means the individuals, if it is producing lower number of clutch from the normal, then that is not fit. So if you are understanding fitness here, it should be talking about mating success, the fecundity, it should have a good rate of fecundity, it should have a higher rate of fertilization success, it should have proper viability of the multiple generations. Coming to assessing different type of selection on the basis of fitness, this is positive selection. Positive selection is selection of only beneficial characters. Okay, so that is positive selection. So only good characters are selected over time, and then that is called as positive selection. Purifying selection is somewhat similar, but in the fact that it talks about selection by deletion of negative character. Okay, so purifying selection talks about deletion of negative characters. Okay, and the remaining characters are selected. So that is the difference. Positive selection talks about selection of only beneficial characters, whereas purifying selection talks about purifying or negative selection, where the negative characters are deleted out and only the good characters are purified. There might be selection of good characters, there might be selection of neutral characters as well. So yeah, these are two different aspects of it. Now the other aspect is frequency dependent selection. So here is an example. You can see that we are talking about a frequency dependent selection in orange trees. So the case might be, so that might be ancestral population might be a short one. So a mutation resulted in increase in the length or tallness in the kind of orange trees. Now when the number of orange trees, the long orange trees increased, they overshadowed the shorter orange trees because the number of individuals are more. So what happened is they shadowed the shorter trees, which resulted in their stunted growth. Okay, and these characters, these long characters for the orange tree became a dominant one because the more individuals producing, the frequency of those individual, that is density, became more and more, and hence they were selected over time. Not because these characters were beneficial, but because these character over opted the other ones. These characters were dominant over the other ones, hence the number increased and the frequency of the individuals in that region increased, which resulted in the selection of that character. Okay, and then comes correlation selection. Correlation selection talks about selection of multiple characters. If one character is, let's say character number 1 is fit, then it takes up with 2 characters. I mean, multiple characters are associated with each other. So let's say if I'm selecting one particular character, which I'm talking about fitness, then another character which is associated with, correlated with that character will be selected as well. Hope you understood. If I'm selecting one particular character which is I found fit, then the character which is associated or correlated to that character will be also selected. So that is correlation selection. So these are multiple levels of selection on the basis of fitness. Then comes types of selection over time. Okay, so these are types of selection that happens over multiple generations over time. So we know about it, but we'll understand that as well. We are talking about directional selection. So there are desert mice. Here desert mice, the coloration of desert mice is varying. Okay, so if a population was originally, let's say, light colored mice, and if the situation changed over time where there was production of more lava based rocks, which resulted in formation of more dark colored rocks around, so the phenotypic evolution happened towards a character which was darker. So this is directional selection. So so evolution is happening towards a certain direction, that is over to one particular character. Yeah, so that is directional selection. Now there might be another case. So let's say in one region, the so what happened is there were darker rocks, right? But snow fell. So when snowfall happens, some of the regions were covered with rocks, some of the regions were covered with snow. So there were your patches of black and white. So there were black patches of rocks, there were white patches of snow. Now, that individuals which had a pretty lighter coat, that is entirely white, were camouflaged in snow, and those rats or the mice which had darker coats camouflaged in the black rocks, and they got saved. So what happened is all other coat colors were eaten by predators. So that resulted in selection of only white coats and black coats on the result of the availability of the particular scenarios. So in case 3, what happens is one particular character was more preferred over time and it got more and more stable. That is, one particular character is more and more getting selected because it is providing better effort for fitness over multiple species times, over multiple generation times. So yeah, these are getting selected. So few examples, if you're talking about humans, you can talk about stabilizing selection in preference for specific weight in babies, where an average weight is counted upon and is more selected. So stabilizing selection talks about on average in a character to be selected more, where our disruptive selections are talking about characters which are at the extremes, and directional selection talks about selection over a multiple time towards a certain direction. So it might be towards this direction or towards this direction, doesn't matter, but it should have only one single direction that we talk about. Okay, so if selection happens in one particular direction, then we are talking about directional selection. So hope you understood this point. But there are many other examples you can go through to understand differential selection over multiple generations.